Ladies and gentlemen, I have not been this excited for anything in a long time, and I really hope this turns out to be true, because that would really suck if all this excitement is for nothing. That's why I think we should, keep in mind that this could definitely just be a rumor and might not happen at all. But we've all heard the confirmed reports of stuff like Jamie Foxx returning in Spider-Man 3, which, if you guys don't know, I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. Absolutely love all the Spider-Mans we've gotten, honestly, each and every one of them. I'm not even gonna lie. Even Andrew Garfield, I loved all the respective Spider-Mans. I enjoyed the movies. It's my favorite superhero, right? Some of my favorite movies of all time right there. So when I saw this pop up on my Twitter feed this morning, honestly, at first I was like, yeah, bullshit. I was thinking this could happen ever since they revealed that Jamie Foxx was going to be in this movie as Electro, which was already weird enough, but then I was thinking, oh, maybe it's just a different version of Electro, just using the same actor because they really like the actor or something. I didn't think it was going to be the exact same Electro. But then we got confirmed that Doctor Strange was going to be in Spider-Man 3. Now, what is Doctor Strange all about? He's all about the multiverse, right? And why would they be including him in this movie if there wasn't going to be some sort of a multiverse connection to Spider-Man 3? And then we get this from Fandom Wire. Now, Fandom Wire is a decently good source. I don't really know much about them, but I have looked into them a little bit, and they have gotten a lot of stuff right when it comes to movie news in the past, like a lot of stuff right. They have a good track record. And they say that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are signing on, or have signed on, to reprise their roles of Spider-Man within Spider-Man 3. Of course, that's not the title of the movie, but they don't have the title yet. But they say they get this from a specific Sony source or something. And obviously they're not going to be able to reveal their sources. No one can reveal their sources because they would get in trouble, obviously. So I don't expect sources. Everyone's like, oh, where's the sources? Obviously they're not going to give those away. So we just have to either trust them based on their track record or whatever. I think it's okay to trust them, but at the same time be like, okay, there's a big chance it might not happen. I feel like there's a lot of weird things about that. First of all, I would be very surprised that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield would even return. I guess they did love the roles. I mean, I wouldn't say they didn't, but it was weird because they kind of fired Andrew Garfield, Sony, so that would be interesting how he's returning. They're getting his job back. I don't know. I don't really care about the business behind it. All I care is that if this does happen, holy shit, that would be amazing. Think of the potential for that. Think of the potential. So as we read on this article a little bit more, it says that, without getting into too many plot secrets, the recently announced edition of Doctor Strange is the conduit to bring these three Spider-Men together for the first time. This film will in fact create the first live-action Spider-Verse. Yes, fucking love it. So of course they will. It says that they'll appear during the final act to help Spider-Man defeat all of the Spider-Man's combined foes. So I don't know exactly what that means. It seems like they're not going to be in the whole movie. They'll just maybe be towards the end, which would be fine with me. I don't really want them to be in the whole movie, and the reason why I say that is because it's still a Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, and a lot of people have been saying they don't like this idea because they want Tom Holland's Spider-Man to still be on his own for a little bit. But we did get 2 movies with him that were pretty good, so I think it's a good time to bring them in, especially after we lost, Iron Man and Captain America. It's like they have to give us something that we really get excited for, because a lot of people have been talking about the MCU falling off because Endgame was such a big peak. It's like, how can you beat that? How can you beat Endgame? This to me sounds like the perfect way to beat it, dude. A live-action Spider-Verse movie with Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland sounds like a wet dream. I never thought it would happen. I was joking about it in the past, always joking about it, and now it might actually happen. I think these 3 Spider-Men are all fantastic in their respective roles, and that's why I hate comparing them, because I can never choose one. Sometimes I like Tobey Maguire more, sometimes I like Andrew Garfield more, sometimes I like Tom Holland more. I can never pick one. So having them all together is perfect. It's like you can't pick what meal you want, so you just eat everything. I'm fine with that. And maybe this will open the door for even more movies going forward. Maybe a solo movie with just Andrew Garfield or just Tobey Maguire in this Spider, verse that they have going on. I don't think they would be going into the Avenger movies, so don't expect that, because Sony has these, rights to Spider-Man, and it's like they kind of have to keep it separate almost. but I could definitely see them maybe being in Venom or being in the Morbius movie. I can definitely see them putting Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire in those movies, but and obviously in the Spider-Man movies. But I think Tom Holland's the only one from the Spider-Man movies that could probably be within any Avengers movie or any crossing over of any MCU movies. That's kind of how I think that works, which I'm completely fine with. And it says this will not just be a post-credit cameo scene. It sounds more like an endgame reveal, with Tom Holland's Peter Parker facing many Spider-Man villains from across Sony's Spider-Man movies, along with some new ones. Wow. So of course they confirmed Electro would be returning, but they could definitely return more. I mean, I'd love to see, like, I'm trying to think, because a lot of them have died, and it's like the ones who died, it's like I don't think you should return the ones who died, honestly. I feel like that would be, I don't really like when these movies return too many dead people way too often. Electro, you can make the argument that he didn't actually die. So for villains that could return, I could definitely see Dane DeHaan's Green Goblin returning because he didn't die. The Lizard from Amazing Spider-Man, I could definitely see him coming back. Sandman, maybe, but he wasn't, a villain anymore. He was kind of just like, they made, maybe he can be a hero. I don't know. They can definitely have Sandman be worked in there some way. It all depends on if the actors want to return, to be honest. It's really all it depends on, and they could definitely make it work. And I just think this is the most excited I've been for movie news in a long time because, like I said, I love Spider-Man, and I have a long history of this, franchise. I've been seeing these movies in the theaters since like 2007 when Spider-Man 3 came out. I'm sure there's people who've been seeing them longer than me, but I still have such a childhood connection to Spider-Man, and some of my favorite moments are going to see Spider-Man movies. And I think this is the exact way how they can bring new life into the MCU and open up for all sorts of possibilities. I feel like the fact that we heard about the Jamie Foxx thing, which was like really surprising to me, is enough information for me to be like, yeah, that makes sense. But now what's interesting is they have J. Jonah Jameson in both universes now, which I feel like is kind of funny. It's like, how funny would that be if they had a scene where both JJs meet each other and it's obviously the same person because they played by the same actor? That would be really funny, unless they made some explanation of that being the actual same JJ from the other universe, and he somehow switched multiverses in his own way. The only problem with this whole multiverse thing is that it does end up getting really confusing, especially for casual fans. I really do love the MCU and I'm very connected to it, to the point where I'm okay with trying to understand the whole multiverse thing, but casual fans are going to be like, what the hell is this crap? You know what I mean? They're going to be like, well, what's going on, But I think if they explain it well and they make it kind of clear as to what's happening and how it, affects the universe and stuff, and I think they could really do something special, because I feel like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, I kind of was really happy with his ending. I think those 3 Spider-Man movies they had is a pretty solid trilogy, and I was okay with that. I did definitely want to see more of Tobey, but I still feel like that was a good ending. But Andrew Garfield, I think I'm more excited to see more than anything, just because I didn't like his ending. I didn't hate Spider-Man 2, or Amazing Spider-Man 2, but I feel like the ending wasn't like clear cut, you know what I mean? You had Gwen die, and then you just kind of ended it there, and it was like we didn't get to see him rise up against all these villains that were coming up. Like, they had the Rhino at the end of the movie. It was like, what happened to them? You know what I mean? I always wanted to see another one, and I know they were planning another one. That's why it felt like that, because they never ended up doing another one. But I feel like they could possibly get it to work. Now, the interesting thing I gotta say is, what about other characters from these universes? Not just the obviously. Not just the villains or the Spider-Man themselves, but what about just the characters? What about Mary Jane Watson? What about Gwen Stacy? Oh, Gwen's dead. I just forgot Gwen was dead for a second. What about, I don't know, Aunt May from... Oh my god, imagine the 2 Aunt May meet each other. Like, it's just so crazy to think about what Marvel could do with the multiverse, because it's already been so crazy so far. I mean, they've had some crazy shit. Guardians of the Galaxy was, I feel like, the start of the really crazy shit. Even Thor, some crazy stuff happening. And then we get into what was going on with Endgame, the first time where time travel was implemented. That was even crazier, but it worked. Honestly, I think it worked. And I feel like that they could just go the next stage, which is multiverses, and it could definitely work. And if it does, we're gonna have it for a great damn movie, which I think will probably come out like, I'm gonna guess 2022. I think they're like talking about starting filming soon, but with all the stuff going on, I really don't think it'd come out to like at least 2022, maybe 23. I would hope it would be as soon as possible because this sounds so interesting. I want them to confirm it because I'm getting sick of it just being a rumor. I want to hear it confirmed. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.